Welcome to GeekStorm, everybody. My name's Charlie, and these two are my angels.
That is not true. Nothing you just said is true.
They once had jobs that were dangerous, but I took them away from all of that, and now they work for me, being geeky. Everybody, welcome to the 200th episode of GeekStorm.
What? 200? Are you kidding me? Confetti and everything?
Can you still do that, or is that some kind of bad thing now?
I want Dr. Strange hands.
Strange.
I never get anything. You always give whoever else is here some cool thing. I want something.
I'm Sean Hilton, owner of Comics Cube, founder of the Kokomo Con, and some other fun stuff. Today I'm joined by my good friends on the left-hand side of me.
Lauren Gray!
Don't ever introduce yourself.
Dr.
Don't you ever
Strange.
introduce yourself. That is his job. Don't play his game.
And Wasabi Wet Pants.
What is that?
That's your
It's
new
you.
name?
That's not my name.
Wasabi. It's like
G.I. Joe character?
might be.
Sabi Wet Pants. Fifth generation. I mean, they were running out of stuff towards the end, but yes, that is a G.I. Joe character.
His special powers are he can eat really, really hot stuff,
Right,
and
and
he
then
was a skin diver.
Well, sure. Nice.
So
Skin Diver, 1960. Good job. Okay.
that's what we do. On this episode of GeekStorm, we will discuss Deadpool, the unfortunate but not yet tragic passing of Margot Kidder, not to be confused with Margot Robbie, whose career is still relevant.
Oh, wow.
So, some television news and other things that will interest us as we go along. First up, in the world of death and destruction, many people have died. However, probably the most significant death in geekdom in the last week or so is Margot Kidder. Mike, Margot Kidder.
I've got me. Who's got you? Margot Kidder, that's all I remember.
Amityville Horror.
She was in Amityville Horror?
Yeah, she's in Amityville Horror.
I'll be honest, I probably didn't see that. I haven't seen that since it was on HBO first run.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not like that movie.
And have you ever actually seen
The red eyes in the window.
Me,
No,
yeah.
I'm trying to be rude.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that is
The
like,
crazy diamond
you know. Yeah.
prism things,
all right.
yeah.
So obviously most well known for her roles as Lois Lane
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if she was even in the fourth one, but the first three Superman movies. And also Amityville had a ongoing career, and then unfortunately some bouts of mental health issues derailed her career a little bit, and she was very active on the convention trail, doing autographs and meet and greets and things like that later in her career, and then doing bit parts. So she has unfortunately passed away. One of the stars of what I feel is probably one of the most iconic, greatest superhero movies of all time.
Did she make a cameo or anything in the like Superman Returns, the other Superman?
I don't
Previous
believe so. I know that in the Brandon Routh
Yes.
one, they
Yeah.
brought back like the original
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy
was in
Olsen
it.
and Lois from the TV show, the 50s show. But I'm unaware of Margot doing anything of that nature. So, unfortunate news. Anybody else pass away that you'd like to touch on that had an effect in your life that we need to know about?
Not that I know of.
All right. So there you go. Hey, Mike
Way to
TV, catch us up. It's been a long time.
Way to bring the show down.
We always start off with the deaths. We're not like the Academy and throw it in the middle.
Well, Sean, a lot's happened in TV.
Well,
okay,
You know,
a lot.
We have a short amount of time, so
Okay.
what do you pick your favorite?
I'm gonna condense it.
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
Some shows got canceled.
Yes, they did.
Some shows got renewed.
What's the biggest
One-
show that got canceled?
One network.
Probably.
Did they? We'll
Well,
get that one up.
almost.
Last Man on Earth canceled, which I think is a very funny show. Lucifer canceled. They said Gotham has got one more season in them, so they are giving them one more season, but that's it. And they said they're talking about jumping ahead, so I don't know if we'll see Batman or not. But they're talking about jumping ahead in time. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed for a partial season, so I don't know if that'll be it. I know the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season finale is tonight, and they have been dealing with Avengers.
The people vanished.
Well, I think that's probably going to happen tonight. That's probably the way things are going to go. But of course, nobody cares about Lucifer, so that's gone.
I think a lot of people did.
No,
but-
not
okay.
enough. Not enough.
Well,
It's the only trending hashtag on Twitter.
They announced in the Arrowverse, Batwoman, sorry, is coming to the Arrowverse in the next crossover. The next big crossover they do. That'll be
Batwoman.
a big deal. Pennyworth. Let's talk about the big hero Alfred Pennyworth's getting his own show on
Is it the
like
same-
Epix or something.
Is it the same character?
I don't know the answer to that, but I
Or
will
same
say
actor?
I don't. Bruno Heller, who ran or runs Gotham, is doing this Pennyworth. So, but I think it's on Epix. I think it's on a cable channel, not Fox.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of that idea of him being like MI6 or even one of their other groups, special forces over there. So I think that could be really good. I like the actor who plays him, son of the third Doctor Who, but he's probably a little bit old to do a young Pennyworth at this point.
Right.
So they'd have to, if they were going to use him, if that's the idea, I think you'd have two actors, one doing the like flashback kind of part, and then him doing the updated part. Trailer I just saw today that I was excited about, trepidatious about, both. Saw a long trailer for Magnum PI.
Oh wow.
So completely recast, redone. Still Hawaii. Hawaii's been big lately. You've had a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Since Lost, I think we've had what? Hawaii 5-0, and then what's the other one that's over there currently? Because Hawaii, there's another one going on, and now we have the new Magnum PI.
Inhumans was there.
Was Inhuman?
Yeah.
Okay. So looks interesting. You've got TC back, you've got Rick back, you got Magnum back.
You say back, but no.
Well, none of the original actors, all recast.
Is this total reboot? You think?
Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
It's not like Magnum's grandson.
No. This appears to be from the trailer, complete reboot. Robin Masters is a writer. We still, in the previews, don't see or know him. But this time we know that the writing that he does, Magnum is his muse. It's like an action spy kind of a thing. And he's taken some of Magnum's stuff and then completely embellished it to the point of stupidity, where even Rick and TC are like, you parachuted from space. No, you didn't. So stuff like that.
The only other TV thing that I want to mention was there's a comic book.
We're
done with Magnum. There's a comic book called Deadly Class, which I know you've sold on your shelves where you sell the comic books. And the Russo brothers, who've done Avengers and one of the Cat movies, are doing this Deadly Class show on.
That's a Ferengi ship.
Oh, that's cool.
He travels around and he does stuff.
And they're
So
fans of Magnum PI.
you'd have a lot of different ships, but of course I don't want to be a Ferengi.
200 episodes.
Oh, hey, Magnum PI, what was that?
Nothing. Deadly Class trailer, check it out.
That'd be cool.
It looks
it's
like
an image book. It's been going for quite a long time now.
it's like Harry Potter for
Assassins.
criminals. Yeah.
Yeah. So that looks cool. What high action?
Looks like it. I mean, looks
What
good.
channel?
It's gonna be sci-fi.
All right. Now, Lauren, you just said like some channel canceled like everything.
Well, I just Fox.
oh, Fox.
Except
Did
for
they like go through and
but-
clean house again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
One of their shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, got picked up by NBC.
Yes.
And they
Within
are
like 24
trying
hours.
They're trying to do that with Lucifer now. The fans of Lucifer are trying to do the
You
whole.
know, we live in a day and age now where that whole like Star Trek send your petition in and maybe it gets picked up for another season is much more prevalent than it was, and getting your voice heard now and fans coming up with wacky stuff. What did the fans send in for Lucifer? Like there have been shows where we've sent in, I think, Twinkies or something, and I know for not Jeremiah, Jericho, they sent in something specific. I can't remember what it was. You know, like Lucifer, you just
I've given it to
singing hot candy.
Lucifer a couple tries, and got through like a season and maybe partially into the second season, and it's okay. It's not something
I'm not sure. I didn't watch
watch.
it. Nick watched it, my husband, and he actually watched the season finale, which is now the series finale.
Okay.
This past week, and the writers actually didn't have an idea that they were going to be canceled.
that always sucks.
It came out of nowhere, so it ended on a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And the
So
creators
did Last Man on Earth did too.
actually tweeted like, "We are so sorry. We didn't. Normally, you catch wind of like, oh, hey, you're probably going to get canceled." They had no idea they were writing for a next season. And Fox is like, nope, sorry. So now the fans of that show don't really get closure at all because of this cliffhanger.
And that's the thing is, in this day and age, that really shouldn't happen anymore. Back in the day when you didn't have this kind of direct line of communication, honestly, even right now, like I should be hearing from Fox, two-part movie length thing, guys, wrap it up. We have the budget. And that is the kind of thing that will draw in the extra viewers anyway.
Absolutely.
So that kind of thing is nuts. Now we do have in television something of a rarity that has become more of a trend now. Last Man Standing, after being canceled for having good ratings, went away, is now coming back, and now previews are starting to pop up for that. So it's one of those weird things where if something went away for a year, you weren't seeing it come back. Now, man, anything is possible. You don't know whether.
I mean, look at Roseanne, X-Files, all these shows that they're now starting to.
I think X-Files and Roseanne were a deal where they went out with a big bang, had huge audiences, and then got revivals or came back a little later. But like Last Man Standing, this wasn't. I mean, it was getting good ratings, but it wasn't mentioned in those two names. And then to have it go away for a year and come back after that, that's definitely a new thing. And I think we could see more of that sort of thing in the future. So I think it's an interesting time for television. Plus, there's so many outlets.
Yeah, you can just go stream it now.
If you've got the money, you film it yourself, put it out on your whatever, and there's different ways that you can now make your revenue. And so I think that's interesting. Another thing that's popped up is Lethal Weapon, just is like in season 2, getting ready to finish up season 2, and they have fired the main actor who plays Riggs. Is just like, yeah, you're a trouble guy having trouble issues with trouble on. Trouble was what I was reading. And so yeah, they've fired the star of the show, and so we're going to see how that happens, because under the impression the ratings on that show are pretty good, but I only watched about 3/4 of the first season, and his chemistry with Damon Wayans was really good. I didn't think you'd be able to capture that show, but they did a really good job of kind of turning the 80s into a 2017.
I don't like his mustache.
Well, it was no Tom Selleck mustache as Magnum PI, which is not in the new the Magnum. They shaved this guy, no mustache, which I would have liked to have talked about.
Who's Thomas Magnum?
I don't honestly know. I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize anybody. They did some swaps. Higgins is female. Magnum is, I think, of Hispanic descent. He makes a joke about
he's
TC
somebody
being white.
like Mark. Who's married to Kelly Ripa? The soap opera actor.
Who's Kelly Ripa?
Regis
She's
and Kelly.
on.
Regis.
She's the morning show.
Sure, she is.
Kelly Live.
2. Why do you know that?
I know a lot of stuff about TV that I shouldn't know.
Sure, Kelly Ripa.
I think her husband is the guy. Mark something.
He looked fun.
Huh? Yeah, I think
Mark Consuelos.
I think that might be.
Maybe. I don't know. And then the dogs return, and they kept
Lads.
Dober. Yes, thank you, Paulo and Zeus. I was actually going to do a whole thing about the lads, but I was hoping they'd upgrade to Rottweilers.
Oh.
And because they got the same kind of colorings, but would be like beefier, and plus Rottweilers, great dogs.
Great Danes are superior. Go ahead.
Okay.
They were Dobermans, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. They kept them. They're still Dobermans.
Okay.
So.
Jay Hernandez. Who is that? I don't know who that guy is.
The guy who's playing Magnum PI now.
Okay.
Who jumps from space.
All right. What's next?
Hey, did you see a movie called Deadpool?
I did.
Oh, so did I.
I didn't. But you can't spoil this movie for me. So go ahead and talk about it freely.
Well, holy shit balls. What a movie. What?
Nice.
Wow. Man. All right. This is real simple. If you like the first one, I don't see why you're not going to like the second one.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more of the same and taken to, I think, an even further out there level. And so many jokes for actual comic fans, down to the guy who drew this doesn't know how to draw feet comments, things like that. And
you get to see a fight between the Juggernaut and Colossus.
You do.
So
For
Juggernaut
a
shows
while.
up. Juggernaut shows
Absolutely.
up. That's the big.
Yes, he's the big
secret-ish.
reveal. It's the Juggernaut, bitch.
Does Juggernaut look good?
Yeah.
That took an awful long time.
Well, they actually make a joke like, and now you're about to watch a big CGI fight.
Nice.
And you do
Nice.
for a while.
So,
Let me ask you. and speaking of that, and
they tried to make him absurdly large.
okay, which is
yeah.
okay. In the comics, he
Like-
was a
like
monster.
Bigger
so.
than Hulk, kind of,
Is Deadpool going to become, or has already become, like the Andrew Dice Clay of Marvel movies, where, okay, he does this thing,
No, he
breaks
killed
the
the
fourth
koala.
wall, and makes a lot of meta jokes about DC or whatever, things that are outside the movie. But, I mean, how long is that funny? Does it happen so much that you're like, okay, we get it?
I thought it was perfectly timed. Each joke that he did that I thought was well executed. Him calling Josh Brolin Thanos was really funny too.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Reynolds and TJ, is it Miller? They've got their thumb on the pulse, and I think that they're keeping it real. And I mean, those jokes about 2 and out, I mean, obviously it all comes down to money, and if this makes enough money, somebody's going to want a 3, but it might be time to go, all right, 2 was enough, and give it a longer break if they want to do
I don't want
you
them to turn into like parodies, a parody of superhero movies.
Gotcha.
But there's so many of those jokes
You
that
don't
it
think
becomes that.
that ending though that they're going to not do another one?
Oh, I think that
Because-
they've got it set up to do another one, but as I said, that's one of the things is it was funny, but we've seen it twice now, and a third time I just don't know. It might be better to just go out with the bang, and be happy to have it. But yeah, it's.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not
hard to say.
poo-pooing on it. I'm just asking that from the
No,
outside.
I think it's a very real thing to be wary of, because you can that style can get old real quick.
I mean, they made like 4 scary movies. So,
They
made a lot of those
there are
type
people
of
who like
movies.
it.
I think it's gonna do really well. It's very funny. It's incredibly violent. Don't be taking never mind. It doesn't matter. You're gonna do whatever you want to do anyway. But if you're taking younger children to this, then quite frankly, CPS
You're a bad
should
parent.
just be called
You're a
on.
bad
There's
and
a
be done
little
with
bit of
it.
nudity in it.
Yeah, a little bit of nudity. But all in all, again, very, very funny. And a welcome break from both the traditional Marvel and DC movies that have just been so dramatic and over the top and just gut-wrenching,
Oppressive.
blah, blah, blah. This is just good, laugh out loud, popcorn muncher kind of a thing with, as I said, so many funny little bits and just poking fun at the whole situation. And then the mid-credits scene.
How many?
Is
Yeah, how
the
many were there?
best.
There is
2.
nothing at the end except for you clearly hear the soundtrack a little bit, which is very funny. They have one of those big dun 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 kind of
Choir.
Yeah, but if you don't listen to it, you're not hearing what they're saying. And at the end, you hear them saying, and it's
It's just them singing without the background music,
Yeah.
so you can hear it clearly with the
it's
lyrics.
like holy shitballs by a choir. Stuff like that. You've angered the juggernaut, except
Sure.
they're cursing. So it's very, very funny, very violent, very sarcastic. I have one good friend that is going to
That's
hate
true.
it.
You could put a pin.
He's going to
you put a period at the
absolutely
end of that
loathe this movie. I doubt he'd even go see it, but
sentence. How was Domino and Cable?
they were both great.
Fantastic. Like, I'm really surprised at Josh Brolin's performance. I was really happy with it. He was fantastic. And I take back everything I said about Stephen Lane. Should have been Cable.
Was the kid anybody special or just a mutant?
He was just a mutant that in the future was going to do something that was going to cause the whole
Okay.
problem for
I got
Cable,
you.
so he came back to stop it.
Gotcha.
He was not Deadpool's kid somehow
Oh, I don't think
done
that.
up.
Yeah, no.
So that's kind of what I thought might be the case. Now the kid is very funny. He, as I said, if you haven't seen The Wilder People, he's even funnier than that. The only problem I had was some of the exact same shtick that was used in The Wilder People is this character here. Like in Wilder People, he's going on and on about being a thug, a gangster, and Tupac. He turns around and says almost the exact same lines in Deadpool, and I'm like,
Do you think
"Oh,
they
that's
did that on
weird."
purpose?
Could have been him doing his own little riff, but I don't know. That part seemed a little odd to me, just because I said that we'd already seen it. So I'm like, wow, interesting. Curious as to why they did that.
There is a cameo appearance by Brad Pitt.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was funny.
Was he Brad Pitt or was he
He's the
someone?
Vanisher.
Oh, was he? He's so quick that I didn't honestly. I'm like, I'd have to go back and like watch it again to see.
Yeah, that was Brad Pitt.
Very cool. And even greater, better, the bestest movie news ever. John Wick, 1 year from either yesterday or today, hits the theaters. John Wick 3.
Because this was John Wick. The guy that did John Wick is the guy who did Deadpool 2.
Yeah, they said it in the credits.
In the credits.
The guy who killed John Wick's dog.
John Wick's dog. So, yeah, I just saw today there was just a little thing that popped up that said 1 year from today, John Wick returns. And I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, so good. Oh, it makes me so happy. That's such good stuff. I love it. So, what are the reviews coming out on Solo? Was that next week?
It is
Was it 2 weeks?
the 25th, 24th, 25th.
Do they have
So
a
next
kibosh on the reviews like they did with the
I
last
think somebody
movie?
put out a review.
Probably, because it's already had the premiere. So
Okay.
I imagine they do.
So what have you heard?
I've heard good things, but I haven't heard anything negative. But I don't know. We'll see. I heard Donald Glover steals it.
Of course he does.
Well, that was something that popped up out of it was immediately somebody in an interview was talking to Kennedy, is it?
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy.
And like, hey, yeah, next thing up, Lando spinoff.
Right.
Very quickly walked back. Like, I think less than 24 hours. Whoa. We would love to do that.
Yeah.
We'd love to get on track to do that. That's actually not a plan. That's just something I said.
Yeah.
It's not like a done thing at all. So it almost makes me wonder if they didn't like, they say it and Glover's like, I didn't agree to that.
Cha-ching. That's what Glover's thinking, cha-ching,
I
because
don't know.
you've said you're going to do this.
Yeah.
You need me. Now my price just went up,
Yep.
okay? So, I don't know. But I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure it'll be at least okay. That's all I can say about it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Because I've specifically not, pursued anything about this movie. I've seen maybe one or two trailers, and that's it. And I just want to go watch the movie and enjoy it. I'm not. It's a universe I like. I liked all the characters, and I like most of the actors. So, unless they really screw it up, it's going to be okay for me. I'm not one of those people that's got to have
I'm
everything.
really looking forward to it. I'm really kind of stoked.
I've heard
about
some
this.
people say it's the best thing. It's the best thing since like Return of the Jedi, and I'm not saying Return of the Jedi was great, but saying the best new thing anybody's done. So
That's cool.
We'll see.
Very interesting.
I'll say I still want to see the original movie before.
The original movie?
Yeah, like the wasn't Solo movie
Oh,
the one that they
the one that they went
completely
fire
reshot
everybody.
essentially.
Ron Howard got brought in.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ron Howard, and I approve this message. So what else you got on your list, buddy? There's always cool stuff.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Did you guys see that trailer?
Yeah, we
We
saw
did.
quite a few.
Oh, was it last night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
on the Deadpool.
There's another one. Love Queen, love Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was an ugly dude until he gets the mustache. Once he gets the mustache, I'm like, yeah, that's a good looking dude. But until he cuts his hair and gets the mustache, I'm like, oh, Freddie.
Remy Malik, not a good-looking dude.
So,
they
well,
really nailed it.
they
I just didn't get the bangs
legit.
that were just like right to here.
He had a look for a long time. He had a couple of those different costumes, but
Bill and Ted 3, they announced that. That's going to be a thing. It's been talked about forever and a day, mostly by Bill,
not Esquire.
Alex Winters, because he just hasn't done anything. The other guy, he's done a few things. So he's
Yeah,
been,
what was his name?
He's been busy. I don't know.
I can't tell him.
He's,
Theodore.
you know what? We're talking about it now. He's on the upswing. That wasn't always the case.
No.
Like he's even done interviews and said that like after the Matrix,
Yeah.
it wasn't that he wanted to go away.
No.
He just wasn't getting offered the roles. Now I think John Wick for some reason has really kind of brought him back up.
It was written for him.
Wait, wasn't that Lake movie after The Matrix?
I mean, he's done.
The Sandra Bullock traveling
He
time?
might have. I mean,
Lake.
he's done plenty of movies, but none of them are. You know, we can't even name it. We're calling it the Lake movies. So, I'm like,
think it's
that
called
tells you all you
Glass
need to
House,
know.
Is it?
I think it's called Glass.
No, it's not.
It's not called Glass.
Oh
House?
no, the Glass House had Lily Sobieski.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the crazy thriller.
That was the one who's that.
Was
that,
it Cabin on the Lake?
No.
No, that's a different one. You're thinking of the one with. She's right. I just wanted to say.
Lily
it.
Sobieski.
It's- Yes, her career was derailed by Hunger Games chick's career because she
look-
took all her roles.
They look so much
They
alike.
do. If you, I'm honestly, without thinking about it, if you just like flashed a picture of,
Lily Sobieski.
I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Hunger Games chick,
maybe
because she was like coming on strong and then just disappeared.
Lake House.
Thank you.
Lake House. I had House right. I was half right. I was half right.
So
Did you see the Luke Cage trailer? Did you see that?
I have not yet.
Looks good.
I
Looks
still
really
haven't seen
good.
Luke Cage the entire. I haven't seen it yet.
Looks really good.
I need to go back and catch that this summer.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all?
No.
Oh.
I've
that's
heard,
good.
well, thing is with where I work,
Yeah.
I know, like, hey, it's halfway through the season, the best character dies.
No, that's good.
That's great. Thanks. Appreciate
It's
it.
good.
So looking forward to that. We saw some really cool trailers. We saw, is it Artemis?
The Artemis House.
Artemis House.
Yes.
So
Hotel. The Artemis Hotel.
Hotel. Okay. It looks like again, not to get back on the John Wick thing, but it looked like a hotel hospital version, really run down of the John Wick hotel kind of thing. But Jodie Foster runs it. They're not related to John Wick. Want to be very very clear about
Yeah.
that. But the idea is that all the criminals know this is the place you go. There's a doctor on call
There's
that treats nothing
specific
but
set of
criminals.
rules.
Yeah, the whole rule thing is set up in advance, and then Jeff Goldblum shows up to break the rules, and then it's on.
It's got Sterling Brown
Jeff Goldblum
in it as well.
Dave Bautista,
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm interested to see how he does
healthcare
in,
professional.
in the movie. Yeah, because all I see him as is Drax, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in a different.
It
role.
will be. I'm looking forward to it. That looked like a lot of fun. That looked like my kind of movie. So
Yeah, it's first week of June, I think, is
It's coming up
first
quick.
or second week.
The Purge, the first Purge thing, is a movie that we'll be seeing. Basically, a flashback to the very first one with Macaron,
Marina Baccarin.
the chick from Deadpool, Firefly, V.
Oh, that was her.
Yep. So she'll be the person that starts the very first Purge.
I saw some.
I thought that was.
I don't know if it was fan art or what, but I saw something with her as Catwoman too.
That'd be interesting, I suppose. I'd watch that. But she's yummy.
She
Bohemian Rhapsody
is.
was on there. That was on there. New, no, not new. The same old Mission Impossible trailer.
Blah.
I just wish I could give him my $5.99 for the AMC here in Kokomo and just not have to see it anymore.
He's a falling.
So, but I love that. But I do love that song.
Tom Cruise, a falling star.
So,
Yeah.
So,
We also had a true story about Tag. It's
yes,
the Tag movie.
Jeremy Renner's new movie with the
Everybody under the sun. If you're a comedian, you're in that movie.
It really was.
Have you seen this? Anything about this documentary on Netflix called Evil Genius?
No.
Okay, we watched the whole thing. It's only 4 episodes.
No.
It's a lot like Making a Murder. It's you don't really know who's and what until as you go along. But it's a true story, obviously, about a pizza delivery guy gets kidnapped. They put a bomb around his neck and tell him to go rob a bank. And in the first episode, they show it. Him and he blows up. So it's
Spoiler
not
alert.
It's not a mystery. it's okay. Now,
and-
second.
and honestly-
this happened like 10 years ago, so I'm sorry that it's
I was in on it.
he might be in on it. We don't. That is probably the most I don't know, mysterious, unresolved thing of the whole show is he could have been in on it. They're not sure. But it's about who plotted it and who put it all together and everything, and some people with real mental problems but geniuses too. So it's very interesting, worth watching. Real genius.
Somebody else was telling me there
Evil
was a new one
genius.
on there.
Evil genius.
And I couldn't even tell if they were messing with me or if it was real, and I can't remember who's talking about it. But basically, there's some serial killer that is the serial killer for everything that hasn't been caught. And then they do this whole thing where they like Ramsey, Michelle, whatever her name
John
is.
Benet Ramsey.
John Benet Ramsey, killed by this guy who set it all up. And then he's also like the crazy serial killer from something else that never got caught and got away. And so he basically just sets up these elaborate serial killings or whatever. And I'm just like, none of this makes any sense at all.
A serial killer who changed up his MO, every once in a while will probably never get caught. I'm not saying that happened, but
Yeah.
that's how they get caught is by pattern.
Iceland has a non-extradition treaty.
Do they?
And very, very little in the way of hazardous things. Bugs, animals.
What about all the ice? It's called Iceland. I don't understand.
It's actually a really beautiful
Oh
country
my
with very
gosh.
little ice.
What else?
You're thinking of Greenland.
No, I know. I'm just giving you that. Stan Lee's suing somebody for $1 billion. Well,
Stanley is suing himself for $1 billion.
it's not himself. He doesn't own POW anymore. He sold POW.
He did.
So
he
he's
is
suing
suing the
himself.
company that he started,
But he sold it,
sold it for $1 billion.
which is crazy.
So
That's
the deal
a
is
billion.
it's just getting sad and pathetic at this point. Stan Lee's name is no longer brought up on my feed with anything associated with good or interesting. It is always bad and depressing, from possibly being abused to showrunners and promoters abusing him to now. He is saying that because of his bad eyesight, and if you've ever seen his glasses, you
Macular
know,
degeneration.
they're pretty rough. His partners in this old thing called POW, which he had started, has exclusive rights to his name in China. And so to get it back, he's claiming they duped him, that there was some unethical stuff done, that he was shown one contract, agreed to it, and then they swapped it out with another contract that said instead of the right to use his name, the exclusive right to use his name.
Yeah.
So
There's also stuff being said too that maybe he has nothing to do with this lawsuit. That it might be his runners now are saying, Stan, you ought to take care of this because they're taking your stuff. And he's like, okay, you just never know with his health. He's like 80, 90,
He's 90.
100, 150
He's
years
like
old.
93 or 94.
Wow.
Shares the same birthday as Chris.
Oh, does he?
Yep.
Nice. I didn't know she was that old. It's weird. Okay.
He said it, not me.
Got video evidence.
I'm older,
That's all my kind.
I'm older than she is. So I'm the oldest person here.
There you go. Anything you'd like to add, ma'am, before we close up for the 200th episode of GeekStorm?
200 episodes, and what a special time it's been. That's all.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm Sean Hilton, joined by my good friends Lauren Gray and Michael Allen Harrison. Together, we have filmed 200 episodes of GeekStorm, and before this, a whole bunch of something else. And I don't know when it'll be ending, but I'm sure for all of you, you're hoping it's soon. But some of you are locked up, and you don't have anything to do except for watch us, so I apologize.
I wish we could find out what
try
our
to make it
viewer's
better.
name is so we could just talk to him directly.
Hey, you know what? Before we go, turns out, fan mail.
What?
I have actual fan mail with stamps and everything.
Those look suspiciously like stickers from Lauren's house. I'm just saying that, but go
It
ahead.
is. It says Uncle Sean from Mila.
Oh, that's nice.
So there is, yep.
It's a heart.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
That's nice.
And then over here, I think that might be Batman's heart. Over here, love Uncle Sean. They watch the show so much that
That's
they love Uncle
nice.
Sean. And there is tornado and
swirl
swirl fighting.
Nice.
Because that's what they've inspired to do from watching the show, is to learn the new tornado swirl fighting techniques
I
that
like
we've
it. I like it.
discussed. So
What did your children do that they got in so much trouble they had to watch this show?
until next time, everybody, be groovy.